some Photoshop techniques that you're going to use for this project to make your photo collage. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is start with my first photo that I think I might want to use for this collage. So I'm going to start with this picture of myself. I'm going to drag it from my folder and I'm going to put it into Photoshop. All right. Now, even with photos you get from the internet or images of yourself, you want to up the resolution before you start working. So I'm going to change this to 300. I'm going to actually make this a slightly smaller photo just so it's not going to crash my computer, and press OK. All right, because we don't want any part of our work to appear blurry. Now, this is not the artwork I'm going to be working on. It's not my blank page. So then I need to go to File, New. And I'm going to do a custom 18 by 24 300 ppi. So if you have this already set up, great. If you don't, make it 18 by 24 300 resolution. Hit create. Okay. Now, I don't really know where I'm headed with this artwork yet, but I know I want to use this image of myself. I want to cut it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over, I'm going to unlock the image. And this is your pen tool right here. You have different kinds of pen tools. You have the standard, the freeform, and the curvature. For this project, I would say you're going to use freeform and curvature the most. Freeform will be your quickest, but not necessarily your most accurate. So I want to trace and cut out my head here. I'm going to try with the freeform pen. The problem with the freeform pen is if you pick your pen up, you have to start over basically. It's pretty difficult to pick up where you left off. So I'm just kind of coming around and getting a basic trace of what I think I want. And I can already see it's not the most perfect or steady. So I would say if you need something really quick, easy to trace, the freeform pen is it. You have to make sure you see that little circle appear. To close, you have to meet these points. So now I've traced this. Now I could go in and kind of clean it up by deleting some points. And that just kind of like will round it out, make it less bumpy. But again, for a complicated trace like this, I don't think freeform is your best. But now, if I wanted to now cut this out, I would click on my Wacom pen and I would hit Create Vector Mask. And now I have this image is isolated. I could then take my Move tool and grab it and drag it and drop it here. Okay? And you can kind of see the trace I got. It's kind of interesting. Okay, so for now, we're going to stay with that. So there's my first layer. Okay, it is a vector mask. Now I want to manipulate this some more. So let's see what else I can do to it. Let's say I want to cut out and move my eye. I'm going to come over and now let's practice the curvature pen. I'm going to start a new path here. And the curvature pen is going to create, oops, I'm in shape mode. Oh, because it's a vector mask, it's going to create a shape. So I'm actually then going to show you a different way since that's not going to work. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go back in my history. I want to cut out this eye. So let's come back to the image size. And I'm going to take my freeform pen. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to cut out, and I make this, sorry, this is the curvature pen. It makes curves around. So then what I can do is I can either create a vector mask, but I want to make a selection. I'm going to hit make selection. I want it 0 feather radius. If I put a number in it, the edges are going to get soft. So I don't want it to be soft. I want it to be hard. So hard edges. And there we go there. And I'm going to go up to edit, copy, and then edit, paste. And there's my eye, and I can layer it in here. Now, this is now layer 2. You want to make sure you're naming your layers. I'm going to make a layer above it. I'm going to make a clipping mask. I want this eye to stand out. So now I'm going to take my paintbrush on orange, and I'm going to turn the opacities already down, and I'm going to color that in to make it stand out. And if I want to, I can go to edit and go to image adjustments, and I can go to levels, and I can darken it, I can brighten it here, kind of figuring out what I want to do. I can go down to and hit OK. I can go down to layer 2. That's playing with the orange. I'm going to come down to image auto contrast and get sharper. I could go to adjustments. Again, playing with my levels and get brighter, darker. Try to make it stand out more. There we go. Okay. Now I could go to, and I could make another edit, copy. Oh, sorry, edit, paste. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. So I'd have to come back here, edit, copy, because I accidentally hit copy before. Edit, paste. And I should get another one. And cut it, edit. So I cut it out there, edit, paste. There, oops, you guys. Edit, paste. There it is again, and cut it out there. And I can then like layer these around. I could have eyes going, edit, paste again, and I can put these around my face at different colors. Okay, and you can see it kind of helps me adjust them, like getting them lined up. For this one, I need to layer, merge down, then layer 2, I can move all together because it's already colored in, and then I could do my clipping mask on the others to cover them in. Now I just unlock that, and I want to see if I can kind of come in here and separate these two. I want to see if I can kind of cut out this. Now the curvature pen, it curves around curves, so you can kind of adjust and pull with the pen. It takes some getting used to, but you just make points and push and pull with your Wacom pen till you get what you want. And I just want to isolate this part of the image so that I can see if I can pull it apart. Make selection, hit OK. And I want to see if I can just move it. Now it's still part of that vector mask, so it wants to stay in the space, and that's okay. I like that. So select, deselect, and then I can come with my eraser and kind of decide what I want to get at. And I'm just really exploring and experimenting. So we've looked at vector masks, we've looked at tracing and creating vector masks, we've looked at tracing and making a selection to cut and copy or cut and paste. We've made clipping masks to play with color, and we've made adjustments up under image mode and image adjustments to make things more stand out more with greater contrast. Now I might be done with this part of my work, or I might want to take just the eraser and, you know, erase into my imagery. So I'm going to do that. So you can use your basic paint. You could draw on top of this. Okay. You could do a whole host of things. I'm going to add more images so I can create like a layer here underneath. I'm going to come over to my Photoshop projects. I'm going to open up and see what other imagery I collected. I want to see like what else can I use from these images of myself. I'm going to open this image of me wearing sunglasses. Okay, now what if I wanted to kind of quickly grab this with the curvature pen? Okay, you know, come around. Now, I'm going to just draw like a shape with the curvature pen. So I'm kind of playing with the shape here, how I'm going to cut this out. So I'm getting kind of abstract, and that's because I should have used probably the freeform pen or gone slower with the curvature pen here, but it kind of went wild. And I don't want to create a vector mask because I want to cut stuff out of it. So I'm going to go to Make Selection, and then Edit, Cut, there it goes. And then, where's my work? Edit, Paste. And then I can, let's see, I think I'm gonna go to Image, Adjustments, Color Balance. And I want to play with the color here. See, that looks kind of cool. I want to blur it a little. So I'm going to go to the blur tool, make sure it's kind of soft, make it bigger. And I just want to see that it's spinning, so we have to wait until it's done. All right. I'm going to up the strength. I'm going to blur it one more time. Okay. Now I'm going to grab this. And I want to decide like where I want to see this. Like how would these shapes interact? What's the interesting composition? And I could go to Edit, Free Transform, make this bigger. Remember to zoom out and see your whole piece. That's kind of cool, like this kind of leads to that. And I could play with the size on the other part too. So that's becoming interesting. Edit, Free Transform this. Doesn't really want to change because it's a vector mask. That's the problem with vector masks. They're kind of limiting. So I could change the size of the eyes if I wanted to, but let's just leave it here. And then I want to show you, like, maybe I want to get rid of these sunglasses. Okay, so I'm going to come to my freeform tool. I'll just trace around them. I would spend a lot more time doing this neatly if I weren't doing this in a rush to show you guys. I'm going to go to Make Selection, hit OK. Now let's say all I want is the sunglasses. I could go to Select Inverse on this, make sure I'm on the right layer. And then I could take my eraser and it would allow me to erase everything but the glasses. So I could even like, gives me an idea. And so we talk about exploring and experimenting. If you don't have an idea for this project, that's great because that means you can play. So I'm going to divide up my face here with some lines. And so that allowed me to erase everything but the glasses. Now I can color it in with I'm going to go back to select inverse again. So now I'm back on my glasses and I want to paint them in hot pink. I'm going to come to my paintbrush, opacity is down, and I'm going to paint them in. My computer's moving real slow. Let's just make this bigger. Okay. And then I could come over and play with different color styles. I could turn the opacity down on this. So I'm thinking about how these can come in. I'm going to go to select, deselect. And then let's say I want to put an image underneath these glasses. Well, I can come in now with my eraser, turn my smoothing up, it's up, and I can come in and erase this. Ooh, that smoothing is way too up. Turn it down a little. Okay, and I'm just erasing to my, so you're seeing the white below. And let's say I wanted to put some things reflecting in those glasses. I'm going to open up this image I used before. It's going to take a second because it's a big file and I've got a lot of open imagery. Okay, I'm going to come find this background. Oh, it's still spinning. Where is it? Where is the background? Here it is. Layer, edit, copy, and then close that. Don't save. I'm going to close this just so my computer doesn't just die on me. And then edit, paste. And it's still spinning. Okay. And I put it above it. And now I'm going to move it below it. And then edit, free transform. This is a really big file. So I just want to put this part of it in the sunglasses. So it's transforming it again. Sorry guys that this is taking so long to do. And I'm going to zoom in here. I'm going to turn this opacity back up so you guys can kind of see it. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come into my eraser and I'm just going to erase what I don't want to see. I could also, if you really need to protect something, let me just show you. I'm going to come to my curvature pen right here, and I'm going to push and pull these points and get them exactly on my glasses. And there's a million other things we could do, right? So as we work, we're going to work together so that you can figure out how to get your vision across. But here I'm going to go to make selection, hit OK. And then I'm going to go to select inverse, grab my, so now it's protecting what's inside the glasses, but I can erase what's outside the glasses. And I can get that landscape inside my glasses. So again, we've used the tracing tool, the pen tool, to trace with the freeform pen and the curvature pen. We've learned to make vector masks, select, deselect. We've learned to make selections. We've learned to isolate images, to copy and paste images. We've learned to use the freeform tool to place and resize images. Now, this turned out to be a little messier than I anticipated, so I'm going to go to Edit, Free Transform one more time. And then I can come in with my eraser and kind of just go in and clean it up one more time. I should have traced more evenly, but I was talking. So hopefully this makes sense. The most key part is to know how to trace and create vector masks and selections, to copy and paste, to create clipping masks on layers, to change their colors, and so forth. Rewatch the video to see different tools, or call me over if you have a vision and you're not sure how to do it.